St. John Neumann Parish is a vibrant community that dates back to 1977. For over 34 years, our parish has been ministering to the needs of our local Catholic community and beyond. And while facilities and faces have changed over the years, one thing remains the same: our commitment to Christ, to the Church, to one another, and to the betterment of our community. As a result, our church today is an active family of faith comprised of over 4,100 households. Led by a dedicated pastor and a strong group of lay leaders and volunteers, there is an increasing number of ways that people of all ages can participate in the spiritual, educational, social, and service ministries of our church. Several years ago, we analyzed every aspect of parish life. Hundreds of people participated in our Best Parish Practices study. In 2010, from this study and from much input from parish leadership and staff, the Parish Council completed our long-range plan, Vision 2016. Our long-range plan recognizes our strong heritage of activity and accomplishment and identified some significant challenges that remain that, once addressed, will make what is already a good parish even better. These challenges include paying off our parish debt, which siphons funds away from addressing other important needs. It also includes making a variety of facility and equipment improvements, which, because we are a growing, energetic, and dynamic parish, we have simply outgrown or worn down. Chief among our concerns is our parish debt, which resulted from our building Faithful Shepherd School and the purchase of the 5-acre parcel of land next to the lighthouse, which includes the priest's house. Our share of the building debt for Faithful Shepherd, which was originally forecast to be $3 million, stayed at the $1.8 million paid in 2003. And having access to Faithful Shepherd has been a blessing for St. John Neumann and our parishioners, who benefit directly from the school and its facilities in various ways. More than half of the students in the school, for example, come from St. John Neumann families, and many of our parish meetings and major activities are held at the Faithful Shepherd facilities. We have also been able to pay down the debt on the expansion property where the priest's rectory is located from its original cost of $800,000 to just $200,000 today. Still, our parish debt stands at $1.5 million, which costs the parish $180,000 a year in principal and interest payments, money that is needed and would be better spent on programs and personnel that benefit the people of St. John Neumann Parish. As a result of our debt, we've had trouble making ends meet each year. We've had to reduce staff and now have fewer staff members than we did in 2001, when our parish had 1,000 fewer families. We also haven't been able to set any money aside for emergencies or larger maintenance projects that can and do arise. This is something that must change. We also need to improve our well-used facilities in various ways. Our Faith Formation Center is small, and we have too few classrooms to accommodate the number of students we have in our Faith Formation program today. As a result, students often have to meet in various spaces which are spread throughout the building and not conducive to the ideal teaching and learning environment that students need and our teachers seek. We also have a very limited number of adult meeting rooms on campus. This is not adequate for a parish of our size, especially one that has an extraordinary number of adults involved in various activities and ministries like St. John Neumann does. In addition, we don't have a central or substantial resource room in or for our Faith Formation Center. Supplies and resources are stored in various smaller and out-of-the-way places, which is extremely inconvenient for volunteers and staff. Our preschool program space is also limited, and materials like desks, chairs, and supplies are outdated and worn. The nursery, located on our main level, is also too small for a parish of our size and has no in-room bathroom or changing station available within. Our music room, located on the lower level, is not only too small for our needs, but is also not conveniently accessible to our worship space. Our social hall, too, is excessively small for our growing parish community. It seats only 350 people comfortably and is located on the lower level of our facilities, making it inconvenient and not easily accessible from the church. This inhibits participation in parish social activities that would help us to build an even stronger, more closely connected faith community. Our social hall kitchen is also inadequate in size, and many of its appliances are broken, outdated, or too small. Our daily Mass and Eucharistic Adoration Chapel is becoming cramped and cannot comfortably accommodate our growing number of daily Mass attendees. Moreover, this space is not available to members around the clock, at any and every time of the day or year. Plus, it's currently located in a high-traffic area, which is not conducive to a place that's intended for private reflection and prayer. Our parish library is also too small and isn't in a very visible part of our facility. As a result, it's not used to the extent it would be if it were in a more visible place. Our restrooms, too, are extremely inadequate for a parish of our size and aren't handicapped accessible. Additionally, the ceiling tile, walls, and furniture in the gathering space are becoming increasingly worn. Our current parish office center is also too small for a staff and a parish of our size. The welcome and reception area lacks appropriate furnishings and is not as welcoming as we are as a parish community. Hallways are narrow and there aren't enough offices for existing staff, and the offices we have are small and cramped. Carpeting, wall paint, and ceiling tile are old and worn, and there are no private or ample meeting, conference, or work areas to speak of within our office facilities. We also don't have a computerized regulation system for our thermostats within our facilities, which means that all of the thermostats must be manually set and adjusted, which is not always time, cost, or energy efficient. In addition, we have no fire sprinkler system that would protect our building in the event of a fire. The lighthouse, which is used as a youth center, lacks ample parking spaces and storage and has only a small, outdated kitchen not adequate for the events held there. We also have no safe or secure drop-off area for children participating in our faith formation efforts. Children often dart through a lot of parked cars and constantly moving traffic to access our facility from the main parking lot, which is not very safe. Our church parking lot, too, is in a state of disrepair. The blacktop surface is cracking, crumbling, and caving in multiple places, and parking lines have faded considerably. This is both unsightly and unsafe and makes accommodating the maximum number of cars in our parking lot more difficult. There are also a variety of other areas in need of improvement that we need to address. Our office computer equipment is very outdated. Our server, software, monitors, and printers are old and need to be replaced. Our phone system is from the 1990s, and repairs to the current system are impossible because replacement parts no longer exist. There is also no way to reach certain parts of our facility or our staff members directly with the phone system we currently have. We don't have any translation equipment in our parish at the present time either, and with our growing number of Hispanic families and Latino ministries, it has become too time-consuming and costly to outsource translation of materials from English into Spanish. We also would like to purchase a new multi-use tractor with multiple attachments for mowing and snow removal, services we currently outsource at considerable expense. We need a new pickup truck, too, to replace the old broken-down truck that has served our parish well for many years. And our hymnals and seasonal booklets are also worn and will soon become outdated with the coming revisions to the Roman Missal and Mass. To address these needs, though, we have an exciting plan that will take our parish from good to great. It includes paying off our existing debt and making a variety of facility and other needed improvements required at the present time. Our first priority and intent is to pay off our $1.5 million parish debt, which will free funds for other uses and, among other things, will allow us to balance our ongoing operating budget with less worry and difficulty each year, set aside sums for facility and equipment improvements, and further enhance our already strong programs, services, and ministries. Our plan also calls for improving our facilities in various ways. This includes relocating our faith formation offices and classrooms from the upper level to the lower level of our facility, where our social hall is now, moving our adult meeting room downstairs into a larger, more flexible and modifiable space, adding a larger resource room to the lower level of our facilities to house various faith formation resources and supplies, and expanding the lower level of our new Faith Formation Center to the south to provide 3 new preschool classrooms, which will be a blessing to our ever-expanding parish community and provide a solid source of additional revenue for our church. And finally, our plan also includes relocating our nursery from our facility's upper level to a larger lower level space with an in-room bathroom and changing station, which will complete our newly renovated lower level space. Our plan also includes moving our music room from the lower level to the upper level of our facilities, where the adult meeting room is now, so it's on the same level as the church. It includes moving our social hall from the lower level to the upper level, where our faith formation classrooms are now, and also expanding this area to the south so there is more room to hold various parish social activities and events. This newly relocated, renovated, and expanded space will enhance participation in parish social activities considerably in a space that'll be conveniently connected to and accessible from our church. With the relocation of our social hall, we also plan to relocate the social hall kitchen from the lower level to a much larger space on the upper level, and to equip it with all new commercial-grade appliances so we'll be able to host and serve a wider variety of social activities and events. Our plan also includes adding a new, more sizable daily Mass and Eucharistic Adoration Chapel to the east of where the chapel is now. This new chapel will be capable of accommodating up to 200 people. It will have its own separate outdoor entrance so that parishioners and visitors will have access to a private place to pray 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And because its interior doors can be locked at any time, it won't compromise the security of other parts of our facility. We also plan to convert the current chapel into an expanded multi-use parish library that can also serve as adult meeting space when needed. Expanding our restrooms on the main level of our facility and making them handicapped accessible is also part of our plans. We also plan to add a new coat room conveniently located near both the church and social hall. We plan to repair the ceiling, repaint the walls, and replace the furnishings in the gathering space or entryway to the church, which will make this area even more comfortable, welcoming, and inviting. We intend to remodel our parish offices to provide more ample, open, and flexible use spaces for our parish staff and more ample private office and meeting space for those who need it. Additionally, we plan to add a computerized thermostat regulation system so that thermostats won't have to constantly be set and reset manually, which will save a considerable amount of energy, money, and time. We also intend to install a fire sprinkler system throughout our facilities, which will lower our insurance costs considerably and protect our buildings in the event of a fire. Updating the kitchen, adding parking spaces, and a new storage shed at the lighthouse to better accommodate its growing use is also part of our plans. And we intend to add a new driveway and turnaround area on the east side of our church to provide a more convenient and safe place to drop off and pick up children from faith formation classes. Finally, resurfacing and restriping our church parking lot is also included in our facility improvement plans. There are also a variety of other needed improvements that are part of our plans. These include purchasing new computer equipment, including monitors, server, software, and dedicated printers to support our various parish offices. Updating our phone system with an integrated solution so people can contact parish personnel and all parts of our facilities directly. And purchasing translation equipment for our Latino ministries so we can more easily and economically translate materials from English to Spanish. We also plan to purchase a new multi-use tractor with multiple attachments for mowing and snow removal, a new pickup truck with a snow removal attachment, and new and updated hymnals and seasonal booklets for our church. To address these various needs, we are initiating an intensive fundraising effort entitled the Centered in Christ campaign. Our aim with this important effort is to raise the funds needed to retire our debt and address our various facility and other needs. Our minimum goal is to raise $3.5 million with this effort, which will enable us to do all that is planned. And anything raised over and above this sum will go into a reserve fund that will be used to address other substantial needs and emergencies as they arise. In order to reach our financial objectives, we'll need both a substantial number of givers and a few fairly substantial gifts. And all of our members are asked to prayerfully consider and make special gifts over and above what you may already give regularly to help us meet these special needs. Gifts to this special effort can be made in a variety of ways. Long-term subscriptions or pledges payable over 3 years are easier for most and essential to meeting our goal, since it would be impractical, if not impossible, to raise a sum of this significance with one-time out-of-pocket gifts. Gifts may be made in monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual installments at the donor's discretion, and a 10% initial investment toward your total pledge is recommended. Non-cash gifts are an additional or alternative way you can support this special cause. You may, for example, wish to consider gifts in kind, such as labor and materials, gifts of securities, such as stocks and bonds, gifts of real estate or even personal property, such as artwork, automobiles, jewelry, and antiques. And finally, you could also choose to support our efforts through deferred gifts, which are gifts that can be given or arranged for now, but will not be received until later, as would be the case with gifts of life insurance or gifts through one's estate. There are also a variety of very specific and special gift opportunities available to donors of qualifying gift amounts. These opportunities provide people with the unique chance to designate their gifts to a particular portion of the project and dedicate them in honor or memory of those they choose. Donors of specific gift items will have their names and/or the names of those they are honoring with their gifts recognized in a special way. And all donors, regardless of the size of their gifts, will have their names included in a special bulletin insert and on a special donor wall or donor book that will be displayed in a prominent and visible place within our newly renovated facilities at the conclusion of our campaign. But whatever the gift or method of making it may be, please be assured that your support is both urgently needed and will be greatly appreciated. Through the prayerful, volunteer, and financial support of many, and the extraordinary support of a few, we will succeed in our task. As a result, we're quite confident that our celebrated past as a parish will only be prologue to an even more promising future filled with doing God's will and works even better as a faith community that continues to be, as it has always been, centered in Christ.